What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and a quick article here. And I had these thoughts that I wanted to share with you guys. But it says Afghanistan's economic crisis deepens as airlift winds down. Okay, there's a lot going on in Afghanistan. There's a lot of political tension. There's a lot of political narratives that are being pointed out, and but despite all that, I'm not going to get into that. What concerns me is this, because I think that central banks are not going away anytime soon, no matter what you think of. They're saying, oh, the central banks are outdated, yada yada, we need to move on from this and that. And yeah, no, that's not happening. They've been around for a long time, and they're going to be around for a long time. Okay, they're the gatekeepers. And I mean, as much as people who are smart enough, and you guys are smart enough to understand that having a central bank, it has literally, ever since the Federal Reserve got into power, ever since the Federal Reserve Act, we've seen the devaluation of the currency, okay? And we have entered into where we are today because of the monetary and fiscal policies. And there have been booms and there have been busts, and those busts leave the middle class in a bad situation, and the rich keep getting richer. Now, all this to say that when banks are shut down, there's a massive chaos that happens and long lines. I mean, if you look at the crisis in Greece, what happened there? People were in long lines waiting to withdraw money from their banks. Now, we see here Afghanistan's economic crisis deepens as airlift winds down, and it's talking about, this is the part I wanted to highlight. It said the protesters at New Cabal Bank included many civil servants demanding their salaries, which they said had not been paid for the past 3 to 6 months. Can you imagine having no salary for 3 to 6 months here? Now they said even though banks reopened 3 days ago, no one has been able to withdraw cash. ATM machines are still operating, but withdrawals are limited to around $200 every 24 hours, contributing to the formation of long lines. The Taliban cannot access almost any of the central bank's $9 billion in reserves, most of which is held by the New York Federal Reserve. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, huge, has also suspended the transfer of some $450 million. Without a regular supply of US dollars, the local currency is at risk of collapse, which could send the price of basic goods soaring. So not only will people not be able to withdraw the money that, they have earned from the past, from their salaries, they might even have to pay more for basic goods. Now, it just shows you the how fragile this whole system is. And I know we have it easy here in the States, but you got to consider, if some event happens, like a black swan event, where the grid is attacked, or there's some kind of cyber attack, and all of a sudden you don't have access to things that run on electricity, which is almost everything, and you can't withdraw money from your bank, what kind of chaos and crisis would that bring? And so we think it's never going to hit us because we're, a superpower. But you can't say that. Right now we're in a very fragile state. And you've been told by many elite people of higher power, to watch out for the next crisis, the bigger one, a cyber attack. Klaus Schwab has said it. And so I thought this is a good reminder of us to plan ahead, because a lot of things, like the supply chain is breaking down. You know that sooner or later there's going to be a shortage of things. So you plan accordingly. And you never know. A lot of companies are preparing for what they say is a black swan event. Prime example, Palantir. So this is just to keep you guys thinking ahead of time. I know you're invested in a lot of things, especially digital assets. And so use this time. If you don't already have a plan, create a plan. Because here's the thing, the gatekeepers are always going to be there, and they're going to control the flow of money. And you can't get past that. It's just the way it is. So I hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe. Share this video. Let others know. about what's happening. This is the Digital World Podcast. And comment below. I always like hearing from you guys. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.